begins in the most magical of realms, the Isle of Avalon, where the legend of King Arthur and Queen Guinevere abound. My intuition drew me to the land of Merlin and Magick, and I felt strongly that I would be guided by the fates on this creative and enchanted journey. Earliest records of a community at Glastonbury appear to go back as far as 63 CE, which is almost 2,000 years ago. As I walked with the shins through the winding paths, I absorbed the energies and followed the fairies to my favourite apothecary's star child, who were kind enough to let me film. And so it was that this weary traveller felt it time for a bitter draught to fill me with strength anew. So I found my way to the Abbey tea rooms. I almost missed this cabinet as it was behind me, and as I looked past the plates to the rich coffee-coloured wood, I had a vision of creating this very channel. If only I could manifest an identical dresser, and this wild one is where our story really begins. So join me for this series as I manifest my Enchanted Apothecary. Wishing starts with a blank space because a wish is like a seed. It appears as if nothing is happening, but there is energy within a wish, and it is the intention of the wisher directing that energy skillfully that brings a wish into being. To bring forward a wish into reality is to give breath to a word. Something which was once an invisible idea moves through a veil and materializes into your reality. I felt that I was guided to use this awkward space in my bedroom to create the apothecary and altar space. I kept visualizing the dresser from the tea room here in my space. I searched online, but everything I found was too far away and very expensive. Frustrated, I pulled an oracle card that told me to go for a walk. So I decided to take this advice, and I had this funny feeling that my apothecary would find me somehow. And there it was, almost the same dresser right in front of me in my favourite charity shop around the corner. It was 5 minutes from me this whole time. I think I was probably the most excited person to ever have bought furniture there. The dresser would arrive in just 3 days. 3 is a magical number for creation, so this was also a lucky omen. I was pleased that I would also be giving my money to a noble cause, and that good energy would be beneficial to its magical purpose. When cleansing antique furniture, one must take due care. The wood and finishes can be easily damaged. I used a very weak mixture of detergent and water, and as I washed and bathed the wood, I talked respectfully to the spirit of the furniture. I welcomed it to our home and thanked it for making itself known to me. I started to build a rapport with it, and as I cared for its dark oak wood, I concentrated my attention on understanding the energy it had arrived with. It soon became apparent to me that this piece had a very warm and friendly frequency. For example, I did not pick up any indication that it had absorbed the traumatic energies, like arguments, or depression or grief. It was quite the opposite. The wood seemed to hold a supportive gentleness. I felt that wherever it had once belonged, it must have had a mostly friendly and neutral atmosphere. The cleansing process was also a gentle one. The wood must not stay damp for long, and as soon as the water touched it, I then dried it with a soft lint-free cloth. This is important to preserve the wood. The wood was dry and had water rings on it from its life in service. I felt it needed some TLC to heal its scars and revive it from the surface. Making contact with the piece using my hands is a good way to blend energies and to talk to it and let it know the purpose I wish it to have in my life. Everyone holds a story, secrets, embellishments, and truths. We are all storytellers. The wood is earth energy and it has its own truth. I found a very old label from the store that it had originated from, and I was able to research that it had started its life in a very old shop, a draper's, which opened in 1870. Then in the early 1900s, the draper's expanded into a department store which also sold furniture, and so this piece was likely there from between 1930 to 1970. I suspect it is a later piece, but still, it is half a century old and silently holds 50 years of stories inside its wooden body. I left it time to rest and for the wax to sink in and seal it. There would be steps that I would later take to cleanse it spiritually with smoke and also protective magic. I felt that we would work well together, and the energy of the piece already felt more positive and abundant after this initial treatment. Tea was used in ancient China to colour dye fabrics in a natural way. This is a far less expensive way to dye fabric at home, and a little witchery often involves making use of the resources you have before you go out to consume more. I waited until the water had cooled, then removed the fabric and hung it to dry for 2 days, before ironing it and shaping it into the basket to use later. I love the earthy tone of the fabric. To me, it came out perfectly in the end. Rosmarinus officinalis, rosemary, and also known as sea dew and elf leaf, is a plant who is said to have mystical powers, including being a protector, purifier, healer, and is even used in exorcisms. I wanted to dry some to make my own bundles, similar to the ways North American indigenous cultures use white sage. colour-dyed the string for my bundles using coffee to utilise more earthy grounding energy. Over time, I started to create the apothecary. Most items I already had, or purchased from charity shops or antique stores. Some items are from friends and others are from my ancestry and have been handed down to me. I will talk you through these enchanted treasures further in this series, but for now I shall keep a little of my practice secret for a bit longer, but I will share this with you in time. I've used candle magic for a long time, so I have an abundance of candles, and it would not be an altar space without them. I wanted the desk space to be my altar and preparation space, whereas the upper tiers will remain the apothecary. Whilst for some, I may seem an airy-fairy soul, I'm also a practical witch, and my space is aligned with its purpose. I used the rosemary from my garden. It took about 2 weeks to dry out enough to make a bundle. The other bundle is sage. This I had bought, but due to my better understanding, I know that it is better for other cultures and the environment to use what I have locally. You may notice that the sage bundle uses white string, but I am using black thread as the colour black absorbs negativity, so I want the rosemary bundle to absorb and burn off the unhealthy or stagnant energies. In this way, I can cleanse the apothecary with something I made myself. At this point, I opened a window so that when the bundle smokes, I can direct the energy outside, and then I tell the smoke to release it as white light. Chamomile contains a compound called azulene, which is an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. As I suffer from bouts of inflammation in my gut, chamomile is an element of my self-care. As always, do take care before trying new things, as some ingredients carry risks and should be used responsibly. Chamomile, for example, is known to be risky if you're pregnant. Although I share my health and my personal remedies with you, this is not an educational video or health advice. It is for entertainment purposes only. Personally, I drink chamomile to ease my stomach problems, as I have found that it works for me. Spiritually, it might be considered that my problems come from a lack of abundance, and as chamomile is said to be helpful with money and abundance, this aligned well for me. The stomach is believed by the ancient Indians and many people today to have an energy center known as the yellow chakra or solar plexus. Problems with my gut might be spiritually connected to this energy center, and also the sacral chakra, which is beneath the belly button. So if you believe in the power of crystals to be used for healing, then you might understand why I chose to work with the earthy energy of carnelian with its orangey tones that link to the sacral chakra and which help with sluggishness. The chamomile is relaxing and healing to my stomach, so together I found them to be very complementary for this purpose. However, had I been wanting to relax with chamomile to go to sleep, then I would not have chosen to work with the carnelians, as I believe them to be energizing crystals. Holding my hands over the carnelians, I worked with their energy before setting them in place around the teacup.
Deceivers, protect me from burning flames. Noble flower and reliever, release this pain. Chamomile and carnelian, dominion of the sun. Chamomile and carnelian, dispel my fears, sweet physician. Forceful on my fever, ward off deceivers, protect me from burning flames. Noble flower and reliever, release this pain.
A good story ends where it begins, and although this tale has many episodes yet to come, I thought it fitting to end this chapter where it had begun. So I want to share with you a story from many years ago, when an old friend of mine and I were talking. She wore the most beautiful silver and turquoise talk bracelet. I remember I commented on its beauty, at which point she took it off and gave it to me. I was a little worried and bashful about this at the time, and I said, "Oh no, I cannot accept this. It's yours, it's yours." But she insisted, and then she told me the story of her bracelets. She said, "Most of these I have found over the years. This one that you like, I found it in the street. Take it," she said, "and when you no longer need it, give it away so that someone else can enjoy it." And so, I have worn this beautiful bracelet for almost 7 years. But lately, I seem to have worn it less and less, and the energy seems to be indicating that it is time for it to find a new bearer. It is important to know when to let things go. Things are not here forever, nothing is forever, and giving good energy away creates space for more abundance. Turquoise also carries its own mysterious omens, as it is a crystal that should be given to you as a gift for good luck, protection and healing, rather than something that you should buy for yourself. Or so the tales go. So here, our tale returns to its source, as I decided to venture back to Avalon, to the hills of Glastonbury, to make a gift of the bracelet in offering to someone, a gesture of gratitude to the universe, in exchange for the apothecary having found its way to me. I also felt this was a wonderful way to honour my dear friend's wish. I wonder, was it you who found my hidden treasure? To all of the wild ones walking with me, who wish for the world to be loving and free, I send you my wishes with blessings and care. Wherever you wander, wishes be there. In your wildness, your witchiness, your wilderness and all. In winter, in spring, in summer and fall. May your intentions be wise, may your wishes come true, and may you always be blessed in all that you do. To all of the wild ones wishing with me, who work with the light of creativity, thank you for watching right till the end. There's more where this came from, so much more, my friend. You have freedom to choose if you want to subscribe, so like if you like, and subscribe if you vibe. Thank you, dear wild one, and if it's magic you seek, I'll meet you again at the same time next week. Next week on Wild Wish, join me as I take you to the Chalice Well and the Healing Gardens in Glastonbury, England. I share the secrets of my apothecary with you, including magical ingredients and what I believe makes the perfect wish come true.